Hi everyone, welcome to the Love Reality Games podcast. I'm here with Charlene today.
Hello.
Vince is away on holidays, so I had Charlene come and join us. Some people may remember Charlene from me calling her forgettable, but she quickly outlived that expectation of what I thought she would be. So, thank you for coming on, Charlene.
You're sweet.
Yeah. How are you finding the Survivor world after your experience in
I
Canberra
love
Survivor?
the Survivor world. Well, yeah, like I guess a quick backstory is that, after my exit interview that you and Vince did with me, Amy O'Neill from Backyard Survivor reached out, I believe, to you guys and other people in the Survivor Canberra community. And I was in Perth at the time, so she was really kind and they offered to meet up with me. So I met up with Ben and Amy and Carl, and they're just such a lovely group of people. And it was really great to know them and sort of branch out to like the broader Australian live reality game community and kind of get to know people and talk about the differences and the similarities. So yeah, it's been really lovely.
Yeah, so like you've met more people than I have now.
Gotta go to the West Coast. I'm telling you,
I
it's much
know.
better than
Yeah.
the East Coast.
Yeah, I know. I do really want to go over there one day. Um how are you finding Canberra Survivor? Melbourne, sorry, Backyard Survivor.
We got there.
We got there. Yeah.
Well, one day we'll do like a whole One Australia Survivor, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully, yeah.
that'd be fun. But yeah, I'm really loving this season of Backyard Survivor. Like the production quality is just top tier. Like it's incredible. The casting, like the diversity of the cast, like in every way, shape, and form. Um, yeah, just the editing, the story arcs, like it's just, and like this particular last episode, I was so, I guess, entertained and moved. I was like screaming at the screen at one point in time, like, and there was tears. So like, it was just amazing considering like this is fan made series. Like the production quality is amazing. So yeah, it's been
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyable.
this like literally like shits over Australian Survivor. Like I love it so
Yeah.
much.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%. Like I find it far
yeah,
more entertaining than Australian Survivor.
yeah, yeah. That's really good. I actually, sorry, Dan, I see you in the background. Can you join like in when I say 9:15? So like about 40 minutes. Is that okay? Just so we can wrap up the episode. Cool. Thanks, Dan. Um, yeah. So very exciting to have Dan and David join us shortly or soon after we recap the episode. But yeah, like I was talking about, this season is phenomenal. The players, the even the twists in the season. I like
Yes.
the fact that we haven't actually really seen any advantages or anything being played at all. Like it's just purely been old
Yeah.
school Survivor. Like it's still been like incredible. So
Yeah, but it's
yeah,
like really funny because like as a viewer, you're kind of like when they miss advantages and they're like right in front of them. I'm like, the piece of paper is just there. But then like when you put yourself in those shoes, and I'd be the first person to miss those things. But yeah, like it's just really interesting. The advantages have been there, but they just haven't been used in that same way. But it's been great because the lens is really on the strategy and the characters of the game. So yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess we'll talk about the episode. So we at the start of the episode, I'm just trying to remember. Sorry, I have notes. At
No,
the
that
start of the episode, we see the fallout of the last tribal council. What's your thoughts on sending David last tribal in that? Because everyone has like a different like strategy side or even like a social side to voting out somebody who's on the bottom, clearly on the bottom. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I don't really particularly know that they had like again, it's hard to tell because you kind of have to be there at the time. You can't always represent these things, but I can't really see a clear-cut reason as to why they all sort of voted David out. I mean, it just appeared like he was just in the middle slash on the outer of things. Unfortunately, just because of the way of the tribe swap went. But I don't really know that they had a clear reason. Like, I don't think anyone particularly wanted him out. I think they would have all, been fine to continue to play with him. I think it was just unfortunate for him, unfortunate timing.
Yeah, like the numbers definitely were just like not on his side.
Exactly. I think, had the tribes gone differently, it'd be a different oh my god. No crying unless they're happy tears.
Yeah. Speaking of tears, the challenge. This challenge to me is possible. I hate eating challenges. I'm not good at them. I know it's like a staple in Backyard Survivor. But what's your
I
thoughts on like
liked this eating challenge. I was
it
like,
was different.
I could do this challenge. I was like, I approve. And I think that, it was really nice because it was that point in the day that was the end of the day. So obviously when they were planning production wise for this, they recognized that the cast, they would be camping and might not have food out there overnight. So I thought it was actually like a really nice touch. Like, yes, there was that element of challenge with, if you don't like hot food or, if you aren't willing to eat crickets or kangaroo or something like that, there was that kind of risk there. But at the same time, it was like a nice little reward at the same time as doing a challenge. I think the really interesting part of it as well was because the yellow tribe had already had their reward from the challenge before. So they just had fish and chips and all of them were really full. So yeah, it ended up being a disadvantage in that they had that reward.
Yeah, I wonder if they like I guess they wouldn't have known that there was an eating challenge, but I guess
No.
if they have watched the past 3 seasons, I believe there's been eating challenges nearly in every season. So,
but the thing is, like, how do you prepare for something that's like so carb heavy or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, you think of an eating challenge, you might think of a cricket, but you don't think of a cricket on a whole slice of pizza with meat kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was your favorite slice of pizza? Which one would you actually eat?
Oh, which one would I pick? I actually thought the rainy day one would have been really good because having the water would have been gross in a taste sense, but I think it would have been a lot easier. And like you can see that in the way that Dan picks up the pizza. Like he was really strategic. No, it was. It looked gross, but I actually think, and we'll have to ask him later, but I think it was really strategic because he kind of removed all of the contents of the pizza off the bread and then just ate the bread straight away and then used the water to like slide it all in his mouth. I was like, that's so smart. I wouldn't think to do that. But like, I think having the water makes it easier to kind of quickly eat. So I think that might have been a good choice. What about you?
I would go like off taste alone.
Also, at that point, you're so hungry, you just are like, I'll eat anything.
Is it weird that the Aussie one sounds like sort of yum?
I mean, I don't want to cast judgment here, so
it's like Vegemite and Weet-Bix. That's delicious.
Yeah,
but no, I would possibly. I think that after a while would be disgusting, but I think the first bite would be like interesting. You'll like, it'd be a very interesting taste, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think like they didn't sound too disturbing, those things, like together it'd be interesting, but you're like, it's not going to make you vomit by any means. Like, something.
I was expecting like, they call it the Aussie, like, and a normal Aussie pizza is like got egg on it.
And pineapple and things like that.
Yeah,
right?
I was expecting like a raw egg on a pizza.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm really glad they didn't do that. I think they really just were like, how can we challenge people but also reward them? I don't know. I'm thinking in a nice lens. I feel like because of the time of the day, that's why they did. Also, Amy or anyone else, please correct me if my hypothesis is
wrong. So apparently we get a scene with Dan, how he's talking about how they're 5-1 down, and there was like this big like talk about like a potential comeback, and to be honest, I didn't believe it at all. I
like Dan though. Like I like his optimism. Like I like his conviction in things. Like I think it's so fun, and like he's just so genuine. It's great. Like so, he talks a big talk, or I think that's what people kind of perceive it. But I think that's just him being genuine. Like he's like, these people have shown him through their social game, that he can trust them or whatever it happens to be. So I don't actually think it's like a talking the big talk. I think he's just like, this is it. Like, you know, I've had these conversations and this is what's happening. And yeah, like it's just a really interesting way of presenting things.
Yeah, he's a great confessionalist, to be honest. We're going to miss him for his confessionals, I think, in the merge for sure. And like him to like even give like this whole spill of like a potential comeback in a confessional when he probably wasn't even asked for it is like, that's like editing gold. Like you get that, you just roll with it, you know. And no, it was really good to see that side of the edit as well, like to completely trick us and stuff. I like it when they trick us like that.
Yes, I did like that, but I feel like I'll reserve that till later in the recap sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of thoughts on the edit of this episode.
Yeah, we see obviously Yellow lose for once. I'm actually very happy to see this because I don't like watching one tribe go back to back to back to back. It becomes quite stagnant.
I
as
agree
far as
with
like
that.
a viewing ship.
Yeah, and just seeing like, you know, the other sort of cast being able to strategize and things like that. But I found it really interesting that, you know, quite later on in the episode, you see Matt B telling us that he threw the challenge. And I was like, and it was just such a contrast with, you know, the confessional you were talking about with Dan, where he's just like, you know, I wanted to go for more. I wanted to go for more. I wanted to win. And I was like, you poor thing. You've got one end of the spectrum wanting to lose. And the other end, you know, really doing everything they can to win the challenge. But yeah, I wish we knew a bit more about what Matt B was talking about, because, you know, he kind of explained that he wanted to intentionally sort of vote someone out. I guess he was talking towards if there goes to a merge, they'll be better off getting rid of, I assume what he meant was a blue or an old blue member, so that he can go forward in a stronger alliance into the merge. But I guess it would have been nicer to see more of that, but there was just so much that happened in this episode, so there's only
like this strategy section was like a chaotic mess, and I really liked it. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah. So I want to talk about, like, you've got couples sort of within this.
You have couples. You sure have couples.
Yeah, you definitely have couples.
There is certainly a specific couple in that whole situation, which I'm like, Again, this episode had everything. Like, it was drama, like romance.
Yeah, it was great. It was like,
I'm loving this
redemption
young
at the
love
end
situation.
as well.
Yes. The redemption. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Jabby. I love that. That's cute. All right, well, we're going to talk about Jabby for the rest of the episode. No.
Sorry, guys, it's a Jabby episode. No. I'll talk about like the OG sort of pairing. So we had Abby and Matt. We've got Rachel and Josh, and then we've got the 3 OG Blues, Fu, Dan, and Jake. Sorry, I forgot his name.
You're very good at forgetting people. Important.
Yeah, very important people I will forget.
Yes.
Maybe that means Jake comes third. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm sure that's not what he wants to hear, but yes.
There's some really interesting dynamics, because like earlier on in the season, we see Abby talk about Matt and how she wants Matt gone. So there's like a perfect opportunity here for Abby to push that scenario, right?
Yeah.
Because she has numbers either way. I feel like they're sort of in the power position, Abby and Matt, in this situation.
Yeah.
Purely due to the fact that they want to target Josh. And I don't think Rachel has any sway of them getting off Josh. So
a bit.
What's your thought? Like, it's so hard. Like, this could go any way, literally.
Yeah, I don't know that they want to, like, I think that they kind of wanted to go for someone blue from the get-go, because, like, and you see Dan talking about that he's not Abby's biggest fan, but I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Abby saying something similar, like, you know, she wasn't necessarily Dan's biggest fan, sort of thing. So, like, I'm surprised that, like, they kind of yeah, like she didn't see that as a potential option, or he didn't see her as a potential option. Like, yeah, there's just so many ways it could go. But like, I actually think Rachel has a bit more of the power here. Like, I think she's a bit of a power broker in this situation, because she's kind of that silent assassin where she goes off and she has these like one-on-one strategic conversations. You know, she'll always kind of be an active member of a group conversation, but she won't necessarily, I would say, like, lead it to the point of dominance. Like, she'll be assertive, but not like dominant. So you don't always think like she's like the number one kind of person in this. But I actually think she's, yeah, that little power broker who kind of has those breakout conversations. Like, that was fundamental. Like, she had that conversation and she built this genuine trust and relationship with Fu, to the point where you're seeing Fu have a confessional. Yeah. And Fu's talking about how, you know, how important, and I'm an Asian Australian as well. So, you know, she was talking about how important that is to be able to connect with people on a heritage level, and that they'd had that connection because they had similar upbringings and things like that. So the fact that Fu, who has that kind of more strategic game and she's willing to play under the radar and lie, sort of was able to be convinced or persuaded by Rachel in that way, really says a lot about Rachel's game, I think.
Yeah, I think like she coming into like this merge essentially is, them two are going to be unstoppable, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing is that I don't know now, because Fu's not going to be able to trust Rachel, because Rachel didn't update Fu on what the vote was.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Rachel so easily built this genuine trusting relationship with Fu, to the point where Fu left her strong type 3 alliance to go for a bigger alliance that wouldn't necessarily be strong like through the merge. But yeah, it was just like,
got lied to,
yeah, so I just think that speaks a lot to Rachel's game. But yeah, I think
to me, to me, Fu doesn't seem like the person to get angry over that. Like, to me, she doesn't seem like.
No, I think she'd respect that game, but she
I think
also
she would
know, I can't trust Rachel anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that ruins that sort of relationship there in a sense.
But I also think she's got nowhere else to go.
Sorry,
I feel like she's got nowhere else to go. Like, looking at the other tribe.
Position.
Yeah,
she's in a really difficult position. I don't know what she's going to do from here, but she seems like somebody who can easily maneuver out of situations. So I'd be really interested to see. And I think she's the type of person who would be very agile in any situation. So like, if somebody, you know, seems to be on the chopping block or is in a minority, she'll breach into that situation and then, you know, kind of like work her way through it, and then she actually becomes the majority. So that'll be interesting to see if she can do that.
And like Mel said, she said she's also burnt Jake as well. So like, she's literally been burnt by the alliance that she was going into, and also burnt her only person that was potentially with her. So I feel like she has to go with the people that lied to her. And weirdly enough, I can see her being the extra number for the votes moving forward. Like, that one extra vote that you need to pull off a blindside, or she'll be that one extra vote. And I don't actually see her going quite early. I think moving forward, we're going to see a bloodbath of yellow.
I think it's going to get a bit messy after this point.
Because
there's so many different things that have happened. And I think like with Valentina entering back into the game, you know, there's just a lot of different things.
That's the original 6 OG yellow.
Yeah.
They're all in the game still. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect it at all. Looking at the tribes to start off with, I'm like, oh, they're the weakest. They'll lose a couple. But like, they've completely like blown me away. Like, I shouldn't have underestimated them. Anybody I underestimate, they do the opposite.
Well, maybe that's just, you know, it's like your blessing and your curse at the same time.
Yeah.
But something else I want to talk about is, can we just admire Josh just going for the kill and just going in, like, again, we love Dan, but that move was just like so great. And he was just, again, he was so strong in his convictions. He was just like, no, we're doing this, like, and this is why. And literally in that short conversation with the 3 other people he was with, just convinced them to all flip onto, you know, all their votes onto Dan.
It's something Josh has done. Like, he's very assertive, but at the same time, he's assertive with strategy, and it actually makes sense. When people sit there for like 2 or 3 seconds and think about it, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's the smartest move right now. And he's always the one to get it out first. And it is becoming quite impressive. I do think though, because his name has been out a crap ton.
Yeah, it's never
once
good.
your name's out there, it's out there. And
although
you become that vote. Like, you become that, oh, let's just vote Josh. Let's just vote Josh. The name's been out there, you know. And I look, I really want to hope that, like, we get an aggressive player to the end, because it's rare. You don't really see it. Like, if we see Josh and Rachel at the end, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I definitely see Rachel as being one of the, like, I would put her in the top 3 for sure.
Same.
Yeah. I just don't know. I think you're right. Because Josh's name has been thrown out so much, like, when people are looking for someone to vote, unless they have a real reason, sometimes it's just easy to go back to what you've done in the past, which is really unfortunate for him. But we do not know. Exactly. He might surprise us, which will be lovely.
This whole season has surprised us, to be honest. So,
Speaking about surprises, can we talk about redemption?
Yeah, I know. What a beast.
Valentina, the queen. Just, I mean, like, I don't think we can praise her enough. Like, that last redemption challenge, like, first of all, she'd gone through and done 3 redemption challenges, and remembering that all of these challenges, because they were the first challenge from each season, they involved a whole group of, say, 8 odd people. So like, you're physically doing all that work as one person. Like, that in itself, doing one of those, I'd be like, no, I'm done. I'm out, guys. Like, you know, like, but she just has persevered every single time. And like, she's come back almost like, you can see that hunger in her eyes, like every single time. And she's like, no, I'm determined. Like, I'm not going to give up. Like, I've set myself out to do whatever it is I'm doing in the Survivor, and I'll do everything I can to survive. And she really showed that. Not only did she make it through all of the redemption challenges, but she won every single one of them. Exactly. Like, it's just like amazing. And then for her to win the 4th one, it's just like, yes, like, you deserve this. Like, you deserve this moment.
It made Redemption Island, like, that much better this season. Like, it was, like, phenomenal that we got to watch her whole story. She was on every episode from the start, you know, like, we didn't miss anything of her. And to watch her story completely pan out. The only issue I've got with it is she is now the challenge beast going into the merge.
I don't necessarily know that is how people will perceive her.
Yeah.
Like, and like, I don't want to make this like about some kind of like stereotype, but I think perhaps if she was like, you know, a young male, like a David situation, perhaps that's how people would perceive it. But I think she has this ability, like, she is able to disarm people because of just her like honest kind of approach to things. And so I don't think that people will necessarily perceive her as that. I think more her challenge will be working her way back through, you know, with her cast members that voted her out, particularly because, yes, as you said, like original yellow are all still there. And that's, you know, the only person that got voted out from that tribe. But yeah, let's see how she uses that to her sort of advantage or disadvantage.
How would you go? What would you do in that situation? Like, if you were voted out by your OG tribe, got the chance to come back in at merge, your whole tribe is still there. Everyone that voted for you is still in the game. What would you be like? Would you be like, I'm going to join them again? Maybe they'll bring me back.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of depends on the tribe. So this particular tribe, like, I think they almost will, it's like such an Australian mentality where you're like the underdog, you want the underdog to win or do better kind of thing. So I think her tribe might see her like that if she's able to, you know, kind of persuade them accordingly. And I think she just naturally will, I hope. She could do that, or she could go to other people, say, for example, your Foos or your Jakes, who probably aren't in a strong position as everyone else, and kind of, you know, band against, you know, her old yellow. And she could become really strong in that situation. She could use somebody like Rachel as a shield for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few different things she could do, but I think she's just going to be amazing to watch in the next few episodes.
I think so too. I hope she's not just like voted out straight away.
Yeah, no, I don't think she would be. Like, I feel like just seeing the reaction of the other cast members when she won, I think there was a lot of respect there. So I think I don't see her going at least in the next episode, if not two. I'm hoping anyway, but I really don't think she'll go in the next episode.
Yeah, I think I personally think her best move is to like color yellow, to get her further through the game at least. Because I don't really think anybody from that position really has a great chance to win.
Yeah, I think her disadvantage here is that she probably doesn't know all the bits and pieces that have happened, right? So she'll be relying a lot on secondhand information, and you can only trust what people tell you. And it's hard to trust people. Like, you trust more of the people that you know, and they might not necessarily be the people she trusts from her original tribe.
Yeah, like we've got. So here's the thing, though. One thing I've noticed is as soon as somebody's voted out, they become like cutthroat and they don't care. Like, they just hate everyone that voted them out.
I just don't think she's that type of person, though. Yeah. Like, she's not you. Yeah. She's just like, I just don't think that's like, yeah, her type of person, personality rather. Like, yeah, I think she'll use that hard work and determination and grit that she did in all those redemption challenges, but in a different way moving into this merge.
I just want to, I don't know, I want to see a different side of her, only because the way she played at the start of the game clearly did not work. So
no, but I think she's I think and I hope that she's learned from that experience, and then she'll like realize that socially she kind of needs to adapt, sort of thing.
Sorry, I'll be 1 second. Sorry.
Well, while he's gone, I actually realized that we very importantly also need to discuss, as I said earlier, the edit of this episode. Particularly the vote edit was phenomenal. Something that I like. In fairness, I haven't seen, you know, a lot of seasons of Survivor myself. I was just talking about the edit of this episode, and particularly the vote edit. Like, I just think it's amazing what they did, like strategically showing us that there's going to be this clear Jake vote, there's going to be this clear, you know, Josh vote, and then all of a sudden, midway through, people actually voting, that's when they show us what Josh's plan actually was, and that was to vote out Dan. Like, I love that blindside, because, you know, normally as the audience or the viewers, you might see or sense that blindside. Yeah,
I'll go now. I'll go now.
But yeah, so like normally you will sense or see what the blind side is going to be as a viewer, because you kind of know what's happening from an external perspective. But the fact that they almost brought us into the game, like we were one of the players, because we ourselves are blindsided. And that's when I was just screaming. I was like, what? But like in the best way possible. I was like, this is amazing. I just think that the quality of that edit, honestly, that is better than like actual Australian Survivor.
They've done it once before, like in the American season. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Amanda. They, Micronesia. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Don't come for me.
Clearly looking for
Yeah. They they go back after, like, she plays the idol, and then they go back to her finding the idol. And as a viewer, you're shocked because you had no idea that this was going to happen.
that she even had an idol.
That she even had it. And then there's like a whole scene of her finding the idol as she's playing it. And I love them edits where, as a viewer, you were blindsided. Like,
yeah,
it is so
amazing.
good. It was so good.
I really enjoy this. Yes. That and the romance between Jake and Abby, like, just not what I expected to see at all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dustin. You've been my fan ever since. Obviously, I'm your number one fan just because you were like my little cheerleader when other people didn't remember or even notice me. So, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, going back, sorry. Yeah, I just thought that edit was amazing, and whoever thought of it, top tier.
Top notch. Yeah.
Love
top tier.
your work. Love your work.
Yeah. Like, obviously, don't do it every episode, but like,
no, but that's the thing. Like, they did it in this beautiful way. Like, you don't expect it at all. And if you did it every episode, then we wouldn't be shocked. We wouldn't be surprised. We wouldn't be blindsided. So the fact that they were able to do that, and even I thought to myself as I was watching, I was like, it's really weird that they're choosing Jake, and like Abby keeps telling Jake, you know, she won't let him get voted out. Like, I'm really confused by this. Like, you know, if they're talking about, threats, like, they all like Jake. They said they're going to look after him, but then Dan's a threat. Like, they haven't mentioned Dan. So, you know, I even thought that myself. And then, like, watching it through, I was like, oh my God, you guys, you just did this to us.
Yeah. The relationship. Are they both flirting just to keep each other's votes? Is that what we're seeing? And if so, like, top tier gameplay. Love it.
Well,
but
and so at first, I actually thought that was the case because I remember them talking from the very start at the breakfast at the start of the day. You know, they clicked. They were the two youngest people. They realized that. They wouldn't tell anyone. That was like their little thing that they would keep. And I was like, oh, that's really cute, whatever. But like, I thought like cute on a friend level. And then when they were like, oh, I'm just flirting, you know, Abby's like, I'm just flirting with him so I can convince him he's fine. At that point, I was like, oh, yeah, it's just flirting. And then, like, when they had that moment of, like, you know, like, he's chasing her and, like, then she, like, comes in for the cuddle. And it wasn't, like, a hug. Like, it was like a cuddle. It was, like, it had, like, this cute little intimate moment. And I was like, well, that's really cute. And also just totally unexpected to see romance, like, I guess, in a 2-day Survivor format.
And this has already been a day. This has not been 24 hours yet. This is like 14 hours in.
When you're 18 and 19 or however old they are, they don't need to muck around.
I hope we see more of this romance.
Yes, I hope we do too. And yeah, I think because they're both quite, like, even though they're younger, the thing that I was impressed by both of them really early on in the season, particularly Jake, is like this sense of maturity and social understanding. Like, he can read people and he can read situations. And I thought for a young man, like, that was quite, you know, I just thought it was quite surprising, but like in a really nice way. I was like, this is really refreshing. So I think, yeah, like they will be able to use that kind of social analysis quite well. And we'll see, how their little showmance versus the social game works because, you know, people are obviously starting to notice that they're a bit close. So it will be interesting to see how people's perception of that and how that might play in the game works.
He's still 17 at this point, I believe.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's so mature for his age.
I know.
I find it really refreshing. It's really nice. I'm like, there is, you know, hope for the future generation.
He's more mature than me, and I'm 30 nearly. So
I'm like, I'm double his age, and
I could be his dad. Like, I'm nearly that age. I could nearly be his dad, which is scary. But yeah. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left, so we usually do a segment.
Yes.
Yep. I think you know this one. It's
Kill,
Marry, and Kiss.
Oh yeah, I had to
Scenario
prepare
kill.
for this mentally because I don't like killing people.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Vince
You
is
don't have
probably
to.
like, Charlene, I will kill you just because you don't like this part of the segment.
Vince would have 3 kills every episode if he could. Like, yeah, if he could just kill everyone, he'd kill everyone.
But I did prepare.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go. Let's just get the ugly one out of the way first.
Yeah. Is it shoot or kill? I said kill, but is it shoot?
Nah, this isn't. It's kill. It's kill.
It's kill. It's kill.
Yeah.
I wrote down shoot in my notes. So I was like, wait, did I say the wrong thing? No, I just wrote down the wrong thing. So, like, stop shit talking. No, we're not shit talking about you. We're just making sure that you're still very much part of this so that you know, like, even though I'm better than you, I haven't taken over your role. Like, just want to clear that up,
Petition to change kill to blindside.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
All right. Let's go less deadly and let's say blindside.
Okay. Right. So my blind side, actually, that's probably good because my blind side, I would say, and I hate this so much because I think she's an amazing player, is Rachel, just because of the fact that I just don't understand why she didn't tell Fu about the change in vote. Like, they already had her on side voting against Jake. Like, I assume it's because she was worried that she was going to go back and tell, Jake and Dan what the vote was. But if that was the case, then why did they get her to vote Jake in the first place?
I watched Inside the Urn today. I think they were paranoid about an idol.
Yes, but if they were paranoid about the idol, then they could have done a split vote.
Not if Fu didn't actually vote Jake.
Yeah, but then again, then why have her involved in the conversation in the first place? Like, that's the part I didn't understand. And in fairness to Rachel, in this, me talking about this, it's only because I can't really criticize anyone else, I don't think. Like, the only thing I can criticize is, how cold it was for Matt Ching at the start of the episode. Like, you know what I mean? Like, poor guy was shivering. I was like, oh no, I've never seen him look so desolate before. But yes, I have no one really to criticize, and that's why I think I've got to shoot her for that, just because I didn't really quite get it. And maybe there's just not enough footage to show, or, there was enough space kind of in the edit to be able to show us all the things that Rachel was thinking around that.
Yeah. Mine actually is for the other Rachel, Fu.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thought about it, right? She knows if she's going to vote with these people, it doesn't actually do her any good with her alliance, right? Because she's still voting one of them out, and then she's going to lose trust. So, yes, she may gain trust from the 5, but she's still putting herself on the bottom of that alliance.
Yeah, but maybe she trusted her social skill. And I actually see, this speaks to the other Rachel's game a lot, in the fact that, Fu was able to trust her. So, yeah.
Yeah. I as much as I agree with actually voting Jake, I don't think it actually has the correct repercussions for her after the vote was then put on Dan. And look, she's in a tough spot. She's in a tough spot regardless.
She landed in a terrible position, but yes, is it partly her fault for trusting people? Yes, it is. But I just think it was really weird. I think the reason I chose Rachel is because she made this comment, when Josh first brought up Dan's name, he was like, let's go with Dan. And she was like, oh, what about Fu? And then Josh was like, don't worry about Fu. But she still could have had that opportunity, because I just think that the more people that going into a merge that are on your side, the better. Yes, you could get caught in the middle, but she already knows she has strong alliances. She's got at least 2 really good, strong alliances going into the merge. And when you're thinking about merge, you're thinking about people in the jury. You don't want someone like Fu that's, going to hold something against you.
I think though, her vote also, like, to me, doesn't make sense because the whole Jake Abby relationship, it
Mm.
was Jake knew that was pretty clear, and Jake potentially at one point probably thought that Abby was going to vote for Josh. So for Fu to actually swap and potentially stuff up like Abby swapping over and still
Mm.
causing a 4-3 with Jake going home possibly wasn't the smartest route. I don't know what the smartest route here is, though,
Yeah.
but I have no other reason to kill anyone.
Yeah,
And
no, I know what you mean. Like, because I just think they're all generally playing really good games, and like the show
yeah,
itself, like this episode itself, was just great. Everyone's playing
Mhm.
really well, so it's kind of hard to say at this point in time. But yeah, like she's in a terrible position now. So, but I think she will be very good at weaving her way out. Like, if anyone can weave their way out of it, I think she's the type of person that will be able to.
Yeah, correct.
I
All
think
right,
she'll.
who is your kiss?
My kiss is Josh because, you know, he was like really strong with that Dan vote. Like that all happened because of him. So he's just like, guys, we're doing this, and it happened. Like it was seamless. So kudos to him that he had that trust and that strength in his alliance to be able to do that.
Yeah, correct. Mine's also for Josh as well. He, yeah, that vote was flawless. He called it out when it needed to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, and the
definitely,
timing was perfect. Like I think if he'd said it earlier, there still would have been deliberation, but he just chose the right moment. So it was great.
yeah, correct. Yeah. Who's your Mary?
Well, obviously it has to be Valentina because hello, Valentina. Again, all praise to Queen Valentina. Like just Stella.
Yeah. I actually didn't put Valentina. I feel horrible. Honorable
No,
mention
you
to
should
Valentina.
feel horrible. It's probably good that we don't have all the exact same people.
I actually have put Abby.
Oh.
Because she has this full on like romance happening with Jake that she is now.
I think that's a romance. I think that's just a romance.
That is now her vote though. Like she has an extra vote now because he's got no one to go with. Absolutely no one to go with. So that's her vote in my eyes. She's essentially got going to the merge with 2 votes every round. And if she can keep that there, she is going to hands down run this game out for sure.
But I think that people see that though. Like I don't think just think about this. When you put someone like, so you've got Matt Ching and he's with Kiara. He's got a really good alliance with her. Somehow he's been able to crack that yellow. And then he's got Rachel. And they will have the people that are with them. So with him brings yeah. And I don't
the Kiara's with Abby.
Yeah.
So they come hand in hand. Like I could see an alliance of Rachel, Kiara, Matt, Abby, Jake, and potentially Josh and Michael, like running the show. Like that's a very strong 7.
I just don't see her going all the way to the end. I do agree that was good, but I think it was like it had its advantages and disadvantages. Like I just think having that romance like situation or whatever that is, showmance, like, you know, solid 2, obviously, but again, also puts a threat on your back because people are sensing it, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right though. Maybe she can go a lot further with that. Like, you know, someone like Dan and her obviously didn't quite connect. And I think he would be the type of person to throw her name out. But now that he's not in the game, you know, she's protected from that. So maybe you're right.
I'm never right, to be honest. Sorry, that won't happen.
Poor Abby.
That's not a thing. She's gone now.
Or she could end up 3rd.
Yeah, she could end up 3rd. Who knows? So, who do you think is going next episode?
Oh, that is a very good question. So, who do we have? So, we've got, you know, who I'd like to see more of, and this doesn't answer your question, but I want to see more of Joe. Like, we haven't seen enough of her, and there's probably a reason for that. But I just don't want Valentine to go. I just don't think she will go the next episode, but she will have to do some work either way.
I personally think we lose a yellow.
I think we do too. Although Fu is really not in a good position, but I think that she can work her way out of it. I have all this optimism for everyone. I'm like, Charlene, somebody has to go. Like, it doesn't work like this.
I think we lose Matt, to be honest.
Matt B.
Not Matt. Yeah, Matt B. I think that's the next person to go. I feel like he's the one that's potentially on the outs. He didn't have much of a connection with many people in the Yellow Tribe.
Yeah.
Abby wants him gone, which means she has another vote with Jake.
I think.
And
right.
at that point, I feel like that's where the yellow will start to implode. With the voting.
I think the yellow's kind of already. It just so happens to be that all of them are still in the game.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know. I don't necessarily think that they're working together at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've all got their little alliances particularly with original Red members and things like that. So.
Yeah. All right. We may as well invite the eliminated players. I have David here. I'm waiting for Dan to join, but we'll invite David.
Hello.
Hey, Josh.
You
hey,
can hear us?
Charlene. Thanks for having me on. This is really exciting. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. All right.
Awesome. Once again,
I feel like you have like a total glow up.
Set up.
Like, this is your hair's all done. Like, it's amazing. Like, I haven't brushed my hair in 5 days. You look great.
Well, wow. Well, I think you've got to remember that, we started filming at like 5 a.m. I don't think I had a shower that morning. I don't remember having a shower the day before. Whereas I've been lucky enough to be able to get up, have a shower, brush my hair. Yeah, I've got a bit of color in my hair now, and I've cut it a lot, actually. There were some comments about that last challenge. David must have really struggled with the long hair, and it was. And I think it was the next day after that I cut my hair, and sort of kept it at this length since. Dan, hello.
Hello, Dan.
Hey, man. What's up?
You're rocking my captain. Love it.
Yeah, man. I believe it.
I also have the red buff.
Yeah, throw it away.
This is super exciting. You guys are like famous to me.
You need to do a few more of these episodes. You need to be more cynical like Josh.
Charlene.
No, but you guys are like great. Like, it's been really great watching you guys. So really good games. And I think that I think we're just talking about with this episode, I don't think anyone really did anything wrong. So it's just interesting to see how things came.
Well, Dan and I didn't win, so there's at least 2 people that did something wrong.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
Not
everyone. Just one person. All I could say is, David, you did better than the last time, and that's essentially how you want to go. Like, if you do better than last time, it's always a step up.
And look, mentioning my glow up, can you imagine the glow up that the show has had since the first time I did it?
Yeah.
We're in the back of a backyard. You go back and you watch those episodes and you go like, wow. And then you watch, like you guys said today, this episode is better than Australian Survivor. All props to Brian and Carl again, for the work they do on this. It's just absolutely insane.
I think you're right, though. Like, even just with the introduction of the way that, you and Kiara and Holly were coming back was phenomenal. Like, that drone shot and that introduction video, it was so great. So how was it coming back on to the season?
Yeah, it was a real experience, having having the boys sort of reach out and be like, hey, we see you on Facebook or Instagram every now and then, but we know you haven't sort of engaged since you went down in flames that time 3 or 4 years ago. Like, would you be interested in coming back? No. So they asked, what are you up to? Like, what would you think about coming back? And look, I was on board straight away. I had so much fun that day. Meeting all the different people and the short challenge or challenges that I did. I was 100% on board. It was great. It was great to come back and get a little bit further than last time.
How about you, Jan? Obviously, you would have seen some type of application available for this.
Yeah, I did, and I personally had the perfect experience. I had like a checklist of things that I wanted to achieve while I was on the show, and I ticked every box, and thankfully got a little bit few extra ones in there as well. I mean, I got to be part of an amazing team. I got to vote someone off, which I didn't really want to because I love Fee. Props my ginger ninja. Is everyone buffering, or is it just me?
I don't.
Maybe it's just me. David was my first pick, and the first pick out of the 15 contestants, which was quite nice. And I got to participate in challenges. I got to win some challenges, got to lose some challenges. So I experienced everything that I wanted to while I was on the show. So yeah, it was absolutely perfect for me.
I actually think it's quite fitting, Dan. We started the game together and we finished the game together. Oh no, we've lost him.
The Perth internet.
So yeah, it was great. Dan and I started the game together right at the beginning of the day and then finished it together. Unfortunately, it was a bit late and it was a bit crazy in the evening there. But I'm pretty sure I remember, unless I've dreamed it since, but I'm pretty sure I remember like a caring embrace at the end there to celebrate everything we went through during the day there.
I don't know when I disappeared then. I don't even know how much I said before I went.
The Matrix got you.
It did. Damn you, Neo.
Coming out of like a Survivor season myself, one of the things that, I noticed at least for the next couple of months is you think like, oh, I could have done this. I could have done that. Like, what were your I could have moments, or did you not have that at all?
I'll go first, then, Dave, if you don't want to talk. No,
go for it.
I didn't have one. I didn't have one. I didn't have one single moment that I regretted throughout the whole day because I generally had the perfectly scripted day. As I said, like being the first one to be picked out of the teams, to be able to win challenges, to lose them and feel that heartache. I also got to participate in an individual challenge, which to date, I reckon was the most epic challenge that we've seen on Backyard Survivor of all the seasons. So I do not have one single regret from the whole day whatsoever. And it was actually quite a beautiful story for me, for David to be the first one to introduce me into the game and then to be eliminated with him as well at the same time. Like I couldn't have written a better story for myself.
Oh, that's so nice. What were you shocked though that your name came up? Like, because as viewers, we were completely shocked that you were getting voted out. Were you shocked by that, Dan?
No, when you're a wolf amongst a herd of sheep, it's inevitable.
Everyone's your friend.
Yeah, no, and I say that because, like when we were doing the eating challenge, I could see that Matt was not interested in finishing his pizza. You probably saw it on my face. I think they did a cut to me going, "What the fuck?" And the thing is, he went to his so-called alliance and said, "Hey guys, I threw that challenge so we could vote a blue team off." Which essentially he said, "Hey guys, I purposely threw a challenge and have now put you in a situation when you too can be voted off. I hope that's okay." And they all went, "Yeah, okay." Sheep.
Have you that
I mean, if he came to me and said that, I would have said, "You are going home. Why did you put me in a situation where I can be voted off?"
Oh, no. What about you, David? Did you have any what if moments? I feel like, especially playing for the second time, it's like, I guess you go in
not so much. Yeah, I think not so much in the first, in the days after, but watching it back. Yeah, I guess you see what everyone else is thinking, and you see, the decisions you make and the things you say, and it's like, who is that? Like, I sort of went, who is this person? Who is that guy? Like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Yeah, so I do a little bit. Not too much at the beginning, though. I think, for the first few days, and you can see it in my face, I think I was suffering from a little bit of heat stroke in the days after. I was getting really red. It wasn't just that red shirt making me red. I think it was a bit red, little bit, done at the end there. So yeah, the first few days a bit rough, but yeah, watching it back's been a little bit cringy, but also yeah, just the things that could have been. You know, could
It
I
is
have
not
made a little bit
cringy.
further?
It's
You
not
don't
It's
cringy. It's
100%
actually
cringy.
no. It is so entertaining, and I loved it so much. Like, it was so great to see like somebody like chaotic, because like you need that. You need to watch like a chaotic player. It was really good to see. So I'm glad. I'm glad we got that. So Dan, your time like on this game. So you went to yellow. You're good, you're a good alliance member with Jake.
Yep.
What was it, Jake? Did you know Jake and Abby were that close, or did you? Yeah, like
No,
give us some gloss on Jabby.
Yeah, well, like Jabby, I love that hashtag Jabby. Like he did say that, you know, I had a connection with her because we're the same age, and I was like, oh, young love. But I didn't realize how strong.
Do you remember how much
actually
he
were.
blushed?
Oh, so
How
much.
much he
Like for a
blushed?
brown guy, I didn't even know he could go red. It's like a random reddish color.
Oh, cute.
No, I didn't realize, but he did call it when we picked the buffs out that he had that connection with Abby, and that's why he wanted to go to yellow. And obviously we weren't expecting for them to split up as well. So he was lucky in that way that he called it, and Abby didn't actually get taken to the red team. So no, I knew it was there, but I didn't realize how strong it was. The thing is, though, Jake, he was very impressionable. Like he believed anything that anyone said. God bless him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad thing is, I believed everyone.
If it's any consolation, I also believe everything that everyone says true, Dan. So don't worry.
Yeah.
You're not the
Well,
only.
that's it. No, like because when I came to this game, as you might have seen in my initial interviews, I just wanted to be honest and open and sort of play a hero role with everybody. And I know part of playing the game is that you need to be strategic and, you know, find alliances and sort of talk behind people's backs. But I know when Brian and Kyle cast me, they didn't go, this guy's going to win. Like, he's going to be entertainment value while he's on the show. And honestly, that's all I wanted to do while I was in there. I didn't come in expecting to win. Like, I just wanted to enjoy myself while I was there. And that's exactly what I did. Hopefully, the viewers had a few laughs at my expense while I was there.
Absolutely. Like, I think, like, you know, you've been such a narrator in this show, like in this season so far. So you'll be very missed from a viewer perspective. So yeah, it's been lovely watching you and getting your insights on things and just the way that you see things and the way that you present things. It's been very enlightening. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to always, and I always do, just have that positive aspect because there's enough cast members there that are going to give you the content that you want while you're watching Survivor. They're going to do all the strategies and have everything, which is why we love the show and watch it. And I know I was pretty much just the comic relief, but I'm good with that. That's okay.
I don't think you're the comic relief at all. I don't think so. I think you're very entertaining in all the best ways. But David, like, did you feel like a bit more nervous because, you know, that first vote went to Holly and things like that? So did that kind of just put you a bit on edge for the rest of your game, or how did that affect you?
The Julie vote.
No,
how
sorry.
Holly went home.
Holly vote, because.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no.
Sorry, I didn't articulate.
Yeah.
Myself.
Look, I know we had. I know we had the immunity idol to hand over to that team, and we gave it to Ken. And you know, the assumption being that why would you vote out the returnee player? You know, I think that team surprised us, and they did vote out that returnee player. And yeah, walking into that first challenge afterwards, I think it was like a wow. You know, they obviously had a big target on their back as being a returnee player. You look, maybe that's something I needed to be more aware of. You know, we're lucky that we won that second challenge. So I probably got caught up, and Dan, you'll remember as well. I think we got caught up more just in having the best time, you know, eating Tim Tams, and I can't even remember what else we had, you know, strawberries, I think, you know, like just living it up, like, you know, like kings and queens. That, it wasn't something that I really needed to worry about.
No, I wasn't happy after they voted out Holly.
I don't think
neither
anyone
was
is.
I think the majority
Because
of people aren't.
I remember when we found it, I actually said, should we give it to Holly? And we all discussed, it's like, no, they wouldn't vote Holly out because she got voted on in her first season. That would be a dick move. Wrong.
But I just don't even understand. Like, I'm like, she even chose, like, your tribe exists because she chose you. Like, it just
Well, something I think I made comment on, I was sort of appointed the leader of, by virtue of being that person that, that chose the group, I guess, like that sort of, just, that person to sort of surround. So yeah, it was a real fear, is that going to put me, again, we didn't have to worry because we won all the challenges, at least for a while there. But, is this going to put a big target on my back or, is it going to help me?
But I think that speaks to your leadership. Like, something that you said, I think in the first episode is, in the first season that you participated in, there was that sort of lack of leadership, and that sort of meant that you got voted out in the end. So you bringing that leadership role to the Blue Tribe meant that you guys are in a really strong position. Not sorry about Josh.
Just evil, isn't it?
Maybe it's just a thing with the Josh name. Maybe it's just an evil name.
It is.
Who knows?
And even with all the comments, Josh is actually a really lovely guy. Like he is actually a really sweet guy.
Yes, Matt Ching also used to be a really lovely guy until I realised that he voted out Holly. And then that's where I messaged him and said, on the blacklist now, mate. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, if we were playing for $1 million, I'd understand the strategy behind it. But come on, guys.
David, you went into the game and you actually realised that one of your friends were there, like work friends in Michael. How was that?
So Michael,
yeah. How was that relationship? Yeah.
That was the biggest shock of my backyard survivor career, to put it that way. To see somebody that not in the, I guess, the BYS community, but outside of that. So yeah, I think you see in the first episode that I was pretty keen to, I haven't seen Michael for, I hadn't seen him for 2 years. I mean, I was pretty keen to sort of explore that. Probably didn't go about it very, very well, and I got a real vibe from Michael that he wasn't that keen to explore it at that point anyway. But yeah, I think unfortunately, so much had happened throughout the game by the time we'd sort of, been able to, meet again on the Red Tribe that, I'm not sure if there was ever a possibility of us teaming up and, doing anything that way. But yeah, so far he's doing really, really well in the game. I'm looking forward to see how he goes throughout the rest of the episode too.
Yeah, that should be interesting, especially because I think now we're hitting the merge. I could be wrong by saying that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to hit the merge. Because at the end of this episode, they both go to their own camps. So they actually don't go to the same camp, which is really confusing.
I think at the end of the episode, they show a preview of the next one, and it says, drop your boss. So I assume.
Oh, cool. I
didn't
didn't spoil anything when I'm like nodding along. Cool. No. I was like,
Yeah.
And if you did, I've been saying merge next episode the whole time. So, blame it on me.
Well, it makes sense. End of redemption, straight into merge. Makes sense. Can we talk about your redemption, your last redemption challenge and Valentina? Why is she so good? Like, she was phenomenal at that challenge. You guys were too.
It's actually,
I think
it's
we've
so
lost
impressive. Is he frozen or is he just standing still?
Oh, no,
he's back. Look, it's amazing just how well she does, performs in challenges, but also how modest she is about it as well. I remember sitting with her prior to the challenge and redemption, and just having a chat, and everything she said was just how either how much fun she was having, or there was no malice or she didn't care that she'd been voted out at the time. She was just sort of still playing, wanted to keep playing, and it had a really, really hard day as well. And then to think that I watched it back and I actually couldn't believe how far behind Valentina in the end I was. I thought it was neck and neck. It was me down Valentina, but I was ages behind. So yeah, she absolutely smashed it, and I can't believe it. She's amazing.
I was actually quite surprised because that, the rope around the balance beam, like I thought you guys were far ahead of her at some stage, and I don't know what happened, but she somehow crept up and I was like, oh no, these guys are toast now because, she had already aced earlier in the day that last challenge of the balls that everyone else happened to be struggling with. So just the fact that she was catching up to speed, I was like, that's amazing. But yeah, it looked like such a grueling challenge, like physically just like I would have been exhausted. I don't even know how you guys could have done that right at the end of the day as well.
It's the being
it was
dizzy
pretty
thing
tough.
that was wild. No, go down.
Yeah, no, I was going to say something actually happened to me in between from getting voted out and before we started the challenge, which actually severely affected my performance in the challenge itself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not making excuses. I'm so happy Val won because it made a great challenge and a great episode. But after I got voted out, went down and was sitting down and I was waiting for the camera person to come up. Chris, hey Chris, if you're watching, props, bro. He was my cameraman all day. I saw the light coming over. I'm like, cool. I was getting ready. I felt full of energy. Everyone's buffering again. No, we're back. And then the camera comes close and it's my Backyard Survivor celebrity crush, Rachel from season 1, standing there with the camera going, hi, Dad. And I was just like, it's Rachel. I just lost it. I went into this whole Wayne's World thing where the aura was around her and like Boyz II Men was playing in the background. And I don't even know what she was saying to me. And then the next thing you know, I'm at the challenge and it was rather Kyle O'Brien said, go. And I'm like, where am I? I just had this blank. But once again, that is why I had the best experience, because just having that little one-on-one moment with Rachel was the cherry on the top of my day. That's what made it perfect for me. You want to see my exit episode? I had the biggest smile on my face. I didn't care. My ass got kicked.
You were very happy.
I was very happy. And that's what threw me. Like I lost all my concentration. I was like Eminem. My knees were weak. My arms were fucking spaghetti. But
I really hope that when Canberra Survivor gets up to season 4, that they also have someone, and I'm behind the camera, and they have someone on their cast that's as, in love with Rachel, in love with me, rather, as you are with Rachel, and that they're in awe. I would really love that.
I'm sure you've got plenty of people to choose from, Char. Yeah, so that's and that's just it. That's what topped off my day. Like it just made the whole day perfect. Like having that moment. And once again, I'm not making excuses for why I didn't do well in the challenge, but I will take that one.
No, but I think you all did really well in the challenge. Like you were all up to that last stage, right? So you'd all smashed it during the challenge because there's so many stages of that challenge. So I don't think there's anything, but it's just that Valentina, with those balls, she'd already had practice. She knew the technique already. So I think she just had that added advantage that happened to be the role that she played earlier in the day. I don't know what's going on with my life.
True. Sorry. But the whole time I was doing it, I was thinking to myself, what did I say to Rachel? Did I profess my love to her? What the hell just happened?
I think you just did. If you didn't that day, you definitely did.
I was in a fog. I didn't know what happened.
Someone click it. Something I like to ask people that have been voted out of the game. Would you return? Would you play again?
We had the perfect game, so
yeah, and that's the only reason I say no, because I had the perfect day. I got to have the opportunity to be in a great team, won challenges, lost challenges, got to vote, got voted off. I got to hold an immunity idol. Yes, it wasn't for us, but I got to hold one. I literally got to do every single thing that I want to do, and plus the extra bonuses of Rachel, and building bonds of friendships, like with David and the rest of the blue team. My only regret is that I didn't get the opportunity to have a chat with Matt C or Michael or Joe, because I believe more friendships could have been grown there. But apart from that, and that's the only reason I say no, because it would be hard to top the experience that I personally had on this season.
Sorry, are you David?
Sorry, I just did it, Abby, and talked way too much then.
Yeah, look, I've got a real love for Backyard Survivor. I think it's really good fun. I think the people you meet, the things you do, the amount of time and effort that that goes into it. If they really were that desperate for me to come back, David, we've gone through all of Perth and nobody wants to do it. We need you back. Then yeah, I'd 100% go ahead and help. But I think I'm excited to, if season 5 gets off the ground in the future, and it sounds like it will do. I'm really excited to be part of the cast and really help out on the other side, for once, get behind the camera instead of in front of it.
Are you interested in helping crew as well, Dan? Oh no, is Dan frozen?
He's frozen again.
Oh no.
And I've got a question. I need to ask him as an interviewer one question. So.
Well, hopefully he'll come back.
Might have to wait.
Would you come over to
Canberra or Melbourne?
Yeah, that's right.
Again, look, if they were desperate over there, that they'd run out of people, or they wanted to do an all stars from around the country. Hit me up.
Yeah,
hit me up.
To be honest, I think that has to happen one day.
We'll just have to do it in Alice Springs, so it's like fair for everyone, like equal travel for everyone.
Sorry, stupid internet.
It's okay.
Which part of Perth do you live in, Dan?
Oh, WA, but I think I'm still running from the ADSL in New Zealand.
I found the internet over there is better than over here. Sorry, going back to Josh's question.
Yeah, David, you actually had a question for Dan.
I had a question for Dan. Yeah, Dan, I think you played a great game. I think everybody's seen that watching the videos.
Thanks, man.
And I think you're welcome. I think that some of the some of your content has been seen by people outside the Backyard Survivor community before it went to air, and we're currently seeing you on television quite often, every day at 6:00. Do you put your success in Backyard Survivor down as the main reason why you're on TV every night? We need the answer here, right now.
I'm just waiting for Kyle to put some money in my account, and when he does, I will say yes.
Wait, what is this?
You're on TV?
Have you not seen the comments on the video? There's always at least one that's like, it's the RAC guy.
Yeah.
So what's RAC?
NRMA or RACV.
Oh, like car insurance.
So, yeah.
Oh,
very cool.
Thanks, David. And it's weird because a lot of actors want to go on sort of like reality TV, try to be famous. But I literally did this because I love the game. I wanted to come on just to have fun, and it was all just for me to have a great fun experience. Like I in no way did this to anyway try to be famous in any way whatsoever, and I'm so glad that I did it. I got to meet you, David.
Alrighty. Do you have any other questions, Charlene? No, I am out too. Thank you guys for coming.
Well, I'll answer one that you didn't. If either one of you said that you would have married me, I would have said I do. So thanks.
Oh yeah, I can't believe you guys said you'd kill me that episode.
No, I. Hang on, this is my first episode.
Yeah.
I'm the guest person.
Yeah, Charlene, you're in the clear.
Yeah.
Vince isn't here. So yeah, poor Vince.
If
Well,
it's
after
any
Charlene's effort, I don't think Vince will ever be back. You're killing it, Char.
Yeah, no, we don't have Vince.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think so. And Josh, you're always amazing. Like I follow you guys and all the other shows that you do. So great content, great energy.
You're such a nice person.
I do, man. I love what you guys do.
Oh, thank you. I was also a first boot, so I do know the feeling that David's gone through. So hopefully one day I can redeem myself. Yeah, that's it.
Let's be brothers.
That's it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully we see you again on some other show, or maybe on the RAC ad or something. Who knows? Maybe
who
you
knows?
can go.
But I know I'll
maybe
be
you can
seeing
go
you on a
national.
weekly basis.
Yeah.
Great insights. I love what you guys are doing, and thanks for supporting. Like productions like what Brian and Carl are doing. Like I'm sure they do, and the rest of us watching it really do appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Live Reality Games gets broadcast to like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook through America as well. So you will get some more viewers from America as well, which is pretty good. So I'm glad that they let us use this platform. So yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks
Thank you,
much,
everyone.
Guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a great
Thank
week.
you. We'll see you later.
Thank you for letting